lots of mental health issues, and I ended up getting put into a psychiatric unit involuntarily.
Yeah.
I was contemplating committing suicide, and that, I mean, was a little bit of a wake-up call, but I was still in such a bad state.
I guess you like to longboard?
Yeah.
What got you into that?
Let's see, I started just almost 3 years ago now. I had finally just kind of gotten out on my own and was just trying to keep myself occupied.
Yep.
Learn something new.
Yep. What have you learned as you're getting out on your own?
I don't know. I kind of just had to start all the way from the beginning. I kind of, whenever I got out of high school, ended up in just a pretty bad crowd and traveled with that for a long time. And then eventually, whenever all those people kind of went away, and then I was back by myself, I just kind of had to figure out how to go about everything again without all those just bad influences around me.
Yeah. So was that an intentional thing to like get them out of your life, or?
Yeah, it definitely took some work.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them kept trying to come around, and I realized that I was just in this cycle of ending up in the same place. I mean, no money, no ambitions, just nothing.
Yeah.
And I just kept getting dragged back into that same spot till I ended up kind of hitting a breaking point and had to just completely start new.
I mean, that's huge, being able to do that. Most people can't do that. It's scary.
Yeah, it got to a spot to where I didn't think I was going to be able to make it out of it, honestly. It was pretty tough, but that was, I mean, quite a few years ago now, and I've come a long way.
Yeah, that's good. So when did you realize you needed to make those changes?
I actually ended up in a point to where I was just in a constant depression and just lots of mental health issues, and I ended up getting put into a psychiatric unit involuntarily.
Yeah.
I was contemplating committing suicide, and that, I mean, was a little bit of a wake-up call, but I was still in such a bad state.
Yeah. It's like, you know something needs to change, but you don't know what, and you don't know how.
Yeah. And the place that I went to try to get help wasn't very much help. I ended up having to actually just reach out to other people that I knew would actually be there for me, and ended up being a lot better that way.
Yeah. I think the system is there and it has good intentions, but sometimes it just doesn't do what it's
and I mean, I understand they serve some kind of purpose, that obviously it, told me, hey, you reached this point, it's kind of time to turn it around.
Yeah. So what was the process like of turning that around?
Well, like I said, I just moved back out on my own. I had been jumping around from living back with my parents to back with some other people who weren't good to be around, and I just, I mean, and a lot of it happened at the start of COVID too, whenever everything just kind of came to a stop. That honestly really helped, because I was just by myself, just trying to keep myself occupied, and started longboarding again then. And my girlfriend at the time, I had been kind of on and off with her this whole time, and that was when we really came together again. And she really helped pull me through that a lot too. Yeah. Because she'd been through it a lot with her older sister, actually committed suicide.
Ouch.
But yeah.
Yeah, a good support system is huge, and and if they can relate to you, it's just that much better.
Yeah, she could relate, but she knew that I didn't need to be banking on her the entire time.
Yeah.
because I could have really dragged her down into it too. She was
you don't want to be
thankfully
dependent.
a lot smarter than me at the time.
Yeah, it sounds like you made a lot of really good choices.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, luckily, like I said, my family was still there, even though at times I didn't want anything to do with them. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really important to have even just a few good people there for you.
Yeah. What was your recovery like? How did you lift yourself back up?
It started after I got out of the psychiatric unit. I was going to therapy for a while, and then just kind of trying to clean my life up from the bottom up, sticking to a routine, and just cutting out all the excess that I didn't need and that wasn't any good for me. Started trying to eat better and exercise more, and then just cut out everything that wasn't necessary.
It's amazing how much some of those little things can really impact you in a positive way.
There's definitely more the professional medical side kind of really, I feel like they don't emphasize as much the connection between your physical and mental. But it's definitely there. I mean, the proof is there if you go out and, actually do it, and eventually you'll get the results. It won't be that instant, take a pill results that they try to advertise, but...
So how are you doing now?
I'm doing a lot better. I've actually moved from Missouri to here 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And just kind of got out of that environment and was seeking more opportunity down here, and it's gone a lot better now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, are there things that you're actively doing to make sure you don't go back into that dark place?
I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm keeping a schedule, kind of staying in the routine, and then actually looking for goals to do short-term, long-term, and and then also sticking to it. It's a hard part too. I mean, I have to write everything down. Any thought that comes in my head, I just start writing it down and figuring out how I can work through all these thoughts, long-term goals and short-term.
The power of writing it down is huge, because if you keep it in your head all the time, there's always that anxiety that you might lose some of it, and you will lose some of it.
Yeah, you definitely lose some of it, and then, I mean, there's only so much you can keep in your head.
And sometimes it's just easier to process it when you write it down.
But, I've been doing that, and then and then also going, you can't stick to a rigid schedule all the time. You got to kind of be in the moment sometimes. And,
that's big as well. I was just talking about that with a lady here a few minutes ago, actually. You know, it's so easy to get stuck in that routine, and habit is a powerful thing, but if you let it take over your life too much, you're not living anymore. You're just a robot.
Yeah, and I mean, I do have my schedule and my goals that I try to accomplish, but then I just like this decided to come down here and skate around, see what was going on, and
balance is super important. And I'm always struggling.
Everything's a balance and kind of a juggling act, and it's just real important to have that balance there.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, that was another big thing I had to learn, was moderation on everything. When I ended up going to the hospital, I was diagnosed bipolar, which I had known for a long time. It just didn't really click. But I would always just go to one extreme and then the other.
So manic depressive?
Exactly. And that's what I had thought I was, and then they just kind of said they classified under bipolar. But I was just always either one end of the spectrum or the other, and really had to just pull myself in to kind of stay a lot more centered and grounded. But
that's great. It sounds like I could learn a lot from you, to be honest.
Well, I'm still trying to learn it myself too.
Hey, we all are.
It's a work in progress, and never it'll never not be a work in
Yeah.
progress.
And if you ever find yourself saying that you're done, that's when things are really going to start falling apart.
Yeah. But yeah, you can never really stop working towards anything, and
Yeah.
it's always important to find a new goal or mission to work towards.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was inspiring.